I was wondering, when it comes to the computational powers required to verify the proofs, do you know if these were heavily depending on the kind of algorithm they're using? You talked about Diffie-Hellman, for instance. Are they a major part of these computations?
Are you talking about the specific, how we instantiate the system cryptographically?
Yes.
And the cryptographic, yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
So question is, if we're sooner or later going to move to post-quantum secure algorithms, which probably be much, much slower and requires more computations, could you see some impact on this work when we have post-quantum mechanisms?
Yeah, so all of the results that I'm showing you will heavily depend on what exactly you're using. And actually, the way that we've designed this dictionary, it's everything that we're using is snark friendly. So for post-quantum security, if you actually want to encode all of the cryptographic operations that are done to update the dictionary in a circuit, you're definitely gonna need different, you're gonna instantiate the whole system very differently than we did. And it's very, very possible that it is gonna be indeed much more, its efficiency was gonna be much worse. But we haven't looked at, post-quantum security. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, more questions. Anyone?
Hello, thank you for the presentation. So one thing, these lookups, can they be cached, or are they like interactive between the user and the dictionary?
Yeah, so the idea is that whenever I want to send a message, you could cache them, but that's not what we do. So the idea is that the moment you want to communicate with someone, you actually need to know that you're using the right keys. So you need to, at the point where you need these proofs, these are going to be generated at the spot and sent to the user, and the user will check them out. But you can definitely, in practice, you could cache them if you want to have deferred guarantees or anything.
So like cache them for the duration of the epoch, I guess. And then you need new ones.
No, so the update proofs are cached for the duration of the epoch. So the proofs, so basically we batch updates, and so updates are only applied at the beginning of the epoch, but the lookup proofs are given back to the users at runtime. Yeah.
Okay, but could they be cached during this period that they're valid, or? And
then send them away in the beginning of the epoch?
Yeah, or at the end of just if there was only two users want look up the same entry, do they both need to? Do you need to generate two lookup proofs, or can you just change one and cache them?
So you're right that we could probably, so we could, but we haven't implemented this or looked at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's what.
Hi, really interesting. Thanks for the talk. I'm imagining this could be used for a system like a secure messaging app like Signal, right? That you're looking up the public key for a user as you're bootstrapping the conversation.
Correct, yeah.
So what happens if right from the beginning, server is malicious and just never puts the right key for the user into the dictionary? The user can tell that their key isn't there, but how do other users of the system know that that's not the correct key?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Actually, yes, you're right. So if I'm saying that I have a user ID, and before I'm able to publish my public keys, the service actually goes and puts another public key, then yes, we don't have any way to detect this. So this should be done out of bounds with some other mechanism.
Yeah.
Any other questions in the room? So we do have a question on Slack. So Dev is asking, how is a dictionary different than a X509 directory? And with the exception of the ledger part, because I guess everything is a blockchain, right? So in that case, how is that different from a X509 directory?
From a what? Excuse me, I didn't catch that.
yep. So basically, it's actually the certificate less standard, right? The X509.
Oh, the X509 certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to the best of my knowledge, these certificate transparencies, these certificate authorities don't really give you any very strong guarantees that it's that what these. So to the best of my knowledge, so far, certificate authorities don't give you any guarantee that they're actually executing correctly, and that's why we see all these attacks. We've seen all these attacks in the past, where malicious certificate authorities were publishing certificates that were not correct. Whereas if you were able to, and that's basically one of the motivations for our work, that if you had a way to tell and a way for these certificate authorities to actually prove to you that what they're doing is correct, then we wouldn't have these attacks.
Sure. I think yep. So you can probably also talk more with like him or her on Slack. So because this is about kind of the motivation of the whole line of research what you're presenting here.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess from my point of view, I just want to ask one more question. So because I saw the current results that you had is very promising. It's I guess solving the three the important requirements in this in this transparency this dictionary, and you are the first to do that. So what are the limitations you see in your current approach, and what are the big directions you think in the future we should work on to further improve this?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the first is what I talked about. So basically, proving times are still, and the overheads are very big still, and for many applications, it's not affordable. Especially, I mean, we've tested with 1 million keys, and it worked okay, but it was okay. But if you have even bigger systems, then maybe it won't work out so well for you. And then another issue that we might want to do is zero knowledge, in the sense that no one should be able to tell from the proofs, from the lookup proofs, because our update proofs are zero knowledge. But for the lookup proofs, maybe you don't want to hide who else is in the dictionary. And I believe there's already some work that has been done there. Yeah.